I'm Cade McGaughey, here today at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas, to tell you about a famous Hoosier astronaut, Gus Grissom. Gus Grissom was the second American to fly in space on the Liberty Bell 7 and was the first to do it on the Gemini 3. Gus was born on April 3rd, 1926 in Mitchell, Indiana, which is here in the southern part of Indiana, as you can see here on the map. World War II broke out when Gus was in high school and joined the Army. Upon graduation, he noticed on the action and was discharged when the war ended. Afterwards, he attended Purdue University, where he received a bachelor's degree in engineering in 1950 and would become a test pilot. Gus was one of the 23 astronauts to graduate from Purdue. He joined the Air Force and served as a pilot during the Korean War, where he was part of the 334th Interceptor Fighter Squad. Gus flew about 100 missions in F-A-6 like this one, shown here. He received the Distinguished Flying Cross for his service in Korea. After the war, he began to work as a test pilot in the Air Force until 1955, when he was one of the 7 people selected by NASA for Project Mercury. NASA was determined to put a man in space and eventually a man on the moon. Here's a picture of Mercury, of a Mercury capsule flying in space, and a stamp issued by the post office to commemorate the event. On July 21st, 1961, Gus was pilot of the second Project Mercury flight, commonly known as Liberty Bell 7. Here's a picture of a Redstone rocket that carried Gus into space. Here you can see the launch of a Mercury rocket from a launch pad in Florida. Here you can see it flying high over the Florida coast. When it enters space, the nose will fly off, as will the rocket itself, leaving only the Liberty Bell 7. Here's the Liberty Bell 7 that spent several minutes in space, providing Gus with some incredible views of the Earth. Eventually, it will re-enter Earth's atmosphere and parachute back down to Earth. The entire flight lasted 15 minutes at 37 seconds. There were problems with the Liberty Bell 7 when it landed and filled with water, nearly causing Gus to drown. Here we can see a helicopter trying to tow the Liberty Bell 7. Eventually, the Liberty Bell sunk and was on the floor till 1999, and when it was covered, as we can see here. Here we can see Gus just before entering the Liberty Bell 7, and when asked how he felt after the flight, Gus said, "I was scared a good portion of the time. Here we can see the actual spacesuit Gus wore on the Liberty Bell 7 that is in the Astronaut Museum. On 1964, Gus was named command pilot for Gemini 3 along with John Young after Alan Shepard got sick. This flight launched on March 23rd, 1965, making Gus the first NASA astronaut to fly in space twice. The flight made 3 trips around the Earth and lasted 4 hours, 52 minutes, and 31 seconds. The capsule was known as the Molly Brown after a popular play called The Unsinkable Molly Brown, and was a joke after the Liberty Bell 7 sank. The following year, Gus moved to the Apollo program, whose mission was to put a man on the moon. By 1970, Gus was to be the command pilot of Apollo 1, along with Ed White and Roger Caffey. The three astronauts were killed on January 27, 1967, whose capsule caught fire during a pre-launch test. Here we can see a photo of the burned capsule taken the day after it caught fire. While Apollo 1 ended in tragedy, it did set the stage for Apollo 11, which landed on the moon July 20th, 1969. Had Gus survived, many people would believe that he had been chosen to be the first man on the moon. Here is a plaque dedicated to the memory of Gus Grissom and the crew of Apollo 1. Gus Grissom was awarded the Congressional Space Medal of Honor after his death. Gus was not only a famous Hoosier, but a true American hero. I'm Cade McGaughey, and thanks for watching.